How to create a book talk. First, you want to make it engaging. If you aren't interested and drawn in by the book, your students aren't going to be either. Your students will only have the attention span of about how old they are, their age. If you cannot hook them from the beginning, they will tune out and not listen to the rest of the talk. So the first point is to make your book talk engaging. The second point is that the book talk needs to be relatable to your students. Students need to feel like they're connected to the book in some kind of way. If this book is not something they can relate to, they're not going to be engaged. When making a story relatable to students, try playing on relationships, inner feelings or struggles that the character might be having, or a sense of belonging. Middle schoolers are just trying to fit in. Middle school is really just an awkward age for our kids, and they want to read about people who are going through similar circumstances. They want to feel like they can fit in. And so my second point was make it relatable to your students. The third point, make your book talk a little bit mysterious. So the book talk needs to make students want to read it, but include a mystery component to it. Cliffhangers are great for this. Some kind of announcement about a character maybe getting shot immediately makes your students ask, well, why did this person get shot? Did they die? What happened to them? Students are analyzing the story already, and you've just given them a cliffhanger. So the third point was make it mysterious to your students. The fourth point needs to include, your book talk needs to include music and graphics. The first thing in a book talk should be your graphic or your music. It's going to be the first thing your students notice. People of all age groups are visual learners, and visuals are going to appeal to them. The music and videos are going to help keep your students engaged because they're going to be curious as to what's happening next. They might be tapping along to the music or just looking at the pictures that you have. But either way, they're going to be looking, so they're going to be engaged with it. So my fourth point is your book talk needs to include music and graphics. The last point, point 5, is that the book needs to be grade appropriate. And when I say this, I'm really talking about the worst thing that you can do for your students is recommend a book like Lord of the Rings to a group of second graders. The problem that teachers nowadays are facing is that our 6th graders are coming to us on a 3rd grade reading level. A book that might be appropriate for on-level 6th graders or 6th graders who are exceeding might not be appropriate for your class as a whole. You want to show your class a book at the average reading level or right below grade level. Don't aim overly high where it's unattainable for the majority of your class. But a huge component in this is really just know your class. You need to know what's manageable for them, and when you create a book talk, make it to where it's on grade level where the majority of your kids will be able to read it. I'm not saying don't encourage your students who are high not to read books like Lord of the Rings, but when you're advertising a book and giving a book talk, make it to where the majority of your students are going to be able to read this book. So my point 5 is that books need to be grade appropriate. I'm now going to show you my example of a book talk for the book, Roll of Thunder, Hear My Cry. It is a 6th grade book, and I've included the Lexile level into the video just so that you will be able to see if the book is grade appropriate for your students. I have included all 5 of my points into my book review book talk. Thank you.
That's the sound of the men working on the chain gang. That's the sound of the men working on the chain gang. All day long they say.
Vicksburg, Mississippi. The year is 1933, 70 years after the Civil War. The Logan family is a black family that owns 400 acres of land where they plant cotton. Mama is the 7th grade school teacher, and Papa has to work on the railroad in Louisiana a good part of the year to make enough money for the land taxes. Papa's mom, named Big Ma, lives at the house to help Mama take care of it. Stacy, 13, Cassie 9, Christopher John 7, and Little Man 6 are the 4 siblings, and Cassie is extremely close with them. These 4 kids are growing up in a time where tensions between the white folk and the black folk are tense. 1933 was a year that consisted of terrifying night riders, burnings, tarrings, featherings, and even death. Cassie is a 9-year-old girl struggling with the cruelty of people who judge based on the color of their skin. The Depression is in a full swing and white farmers are trying to steal the Logan's land back. All the while, Papa gets shot, the land gets burned, Mama loses her job. The black folks in town are getting blamed for all the mishaps, and it's not looking well for them. The Logan family learns the power of hard work, love, and support. There are things you can't back down on, things you gotta take a stand on, but it's up to you to decide what them things are. You gotta demand respect in this world, 'cause ain't nobody gonna hand it to you.
5 points that we covered today were 1. Make it engaging. 2. Make it relatable to students. 3. Add some mystery. 4. Include music and graphics. And 5. Make it grade appropriate. All the cited sources for the pictures will be in the descriptions part of my YouTube video. Thank you.